Obviously, I thought, a good performance. It's hard. Obviously, it wasn't a fair fight, but it wasn't really a fair fight, last week. This is a team that, had beat Oakland City and beat St. Mary's the Woods. I know they were down I think a guy, one of their better players. Obviously, we were down 3 starters. We talked about coming back. It's going to be all hands on deck moving forward because we thought it could get bumpy here, and it has. And so for us, just being able to navigate that, I thought we got a lot of guys, some good minutes inside of meaningful minutes inside the game. We got to look at some different things, and it was good to see some production from guys that just haven't got much of an opportunity to come in and have worked hard and been putting a lot of time to come in and then, obviously, get an opportunity to contribute and impact winning. So good team wins, 6 guys in double figures, almost a 7th. I think Julian had 9. So a lot of guys imprinted, put their imprint in the game, and it was good to see, again, a lot of guys play pretty well. So it's going to be a much tougher task on Sunday. And, I told them reckoning's here. So playing a great Bradley team on Sunday, we'll have to be, have our, play our best game of the year by far to even have a chance to win on Sunday. So looking forward to preparing and the great competition that'll be here on Sunday.
Questions, please.
With the pandemic going on, Josh, it has been important for teams to see what their whole roster could do. What pleased you most about what, some of the guys you mentioned that haven't received the minutes they got tonight? What pleased you the most about what you saw?
I just thought guys, were able to come in and I thought, we played pretty organized, pretty coherent basketball. I think everybody, kind of was able to play within, what they do well. We have a general idea, what Micah can do and Coop can do and Julian can do, but it was good to see, Zach Hobbs, get extended minutes, and thought he's been trending in a good direction. He obviously made some shots coming off A&M. He got knocked out early against Oakland City there in about 4 or 5 minutes of playing time, and so get him some extended minutes. I was pleased with him. I thought Nick Hiddle did some good things, was physical in there, had a couple good catches, finished some simple plays around the rim, stuck a 3, which we know he can do, and so I thought and even Merv I thought did some really good things. He didn't they don't necessarily show up in the box score, but defensively I thought Cam Crawford had he's been in a little bit of a funk there, typical freshman deal. He came in and saw the ball go in, made a couple threes, had a couple good cuts and drives. The biggest thing with tonight was trying to figure out. Obviously, you're down 3 starters, but the 2 that are really irreplaceable are Henry and Bledson, because so much what we do runs through them. Somebody was showing me a stat the other day that we lead the nation in points off cuts in Division I basketball, right? And I think we have pretty good cutters, but what makes that work is those guys, right? We're playing through them and putting them in the ball in their hands and moving around them. And so without those 2, the menu offensively, changes dramatically, and our menu has to be much different. That was the biggest thing coming tonight, was to figure out, what can we do offensively, what are some areas we can exploit. It's different without those guys, can't play through them. So, how are we going to play? What are we going to do? And I thought, again, not it wasn't apples to apples competition-wise, but I thought we did some good things and shared the ball. I liked the fact that there was balance. I thought in a game where you have a big cushion, it can get sloppy, only 6 turnovers. We valued the ball. Thought we, made them for the defense. Second half wasn't quite as good. I thought we got driven too much. I'll have to look at the numbers second half, but thought we did a pretty good job, for a lot of the game in terms of just guarding them and making them take tough mid-range 2s over the top of defense.
What was the time frame today of when you found out that the 3 guys who didn't play today wouldn't be playing?
I found out in the latter morning. I think, it's like now, with the contact tracing. So we have 1 positive and we have 2 that are in quarantine. So 1's in isolation, 2 are in quarantine. Q is just sick. It's not COVID. He had COVID obviously before, so here recently, but he does not have COVID. He's just a non-COVID illness. But we haven't. He's been sick since he came back, so he's been dealing with that. He's also in isolation. So with these changes, it was kind of last second. We didn't know, and then you have to go through when the one person's positive, you test, a bunch of people, and then you do the contact tracing, and so we had 3 guys ruled out for tonight. Q made 4, and we were, obviously the Missouri Valley was tuned into our conversation yesterday. So with the policy being the way it is, we had 9 guys available, and if we're gonna have to play Sunday, I felt like we should play tonight, and and so we'll see. Hopefully we have enough to go on Sunday. I think we're gonna be able to add one of those guys that's in quarantine back for the game Sunday, at least one, and then hopefully be whole by the goal is have everybody back by Evansville.
The CDC guidelines, regardless of what they are, whether they knocked it back to 5 days, but that would still knock out Simon, Cam, and
Jabo.
because
Yeah, well.
that would be the 5th day, right?
Yeah, well, it depends on, so with the person the quarantine is based on their date of exposure. So Simon was exposed on Sunday, so he would be back to practice on Saturday. So he should be able to play on Sunday as long as he's able to practice Saturday. And how well he's out after, a couple days, I don't know. But they do that. The guys who are positive, or the guy who is positive, is based on when he experienced symptoms, right? So the person who's positive experienced symptoms on Monday, and so they should be, I guess, out the 5 days, and you got a 3-day return to play. You return the 4th day, so ideally they could be back by Evansville. The other person I think will be back on Monday, so it looks like it's going to be a Saturday, Monday, Wednesday return, if everything, as long as nobody else has symptoms, or the person who's positive, his symptoms, he remains with mild symptoms.
It's just the way of the world. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. But I talked to 2 of those players yesterday about dealing with this, and they said it was harder this year because you expected it to be behind you.
Yeah.
How do you just get everybody mentally in tune to just rolling with the punches again? Because that's the situation that everybody is in.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the challenge. Is it is hard. Last year, you kind of knew you were up against it from the start, and there was this, are we going to play? Aren't we going to have a season? And we had, had the NCAA tournament taken away the year before from everybody, and then you get in, and it looked really dicey if you were going to even be able to play, and you just were grateful for every opportunity you got to compete, and there was all these protocols and policies and procedures in place, and then it felt like, things trended in a good direction, and football season kind of went off without a hitch, and they're playing in front of packed stadiums, and basketball's starting up, and, you're kind of back in, and now there's been this 180, and we've had to go back, and we talked to guys about going back. We have to basically go back to protocols of last year, with the social distancing, seating charts, masking up when we're, in the locker room, and we're going to have to, we get boosted. I mean, I think there's no doubt we're going to, hopefully go as a team tomorrow, get that done, and hopefully get to 100% there, and do everything we can on our end to make sure that we're able to play and give ourselves every opportunity to play. But that's, there's, it is difficult because it's hard to, you go through this really difficult patch, and you have to make all these accommodations, and there's all these adaptations and disruptions, and then you feel like you've turned the corner and you start something, and when things go back to normal, it is so hard to then go back and say, okay, we're going to have to kind of peel this back, and we're going to go back to the way it was, which is it's an annoyance for everybody. No one wants to be masked up. No one wants to have to go through seating charge. No one wants to have to, but it also, it takes what it takes to be able to play. And ultimately, if we can get to 100% from a boost standpoint, and we adapt those, policies and procedures, it's going to be a disruptive season anyway. I think there's going to be a lot of being flexible, being adaptable. There's going to be changes, and you have to kind of stay on top of that. But hopefully we're going to do everything we can from that standpoint, for making sure we're, outside of, the arena, trying to limit our exposures and trying to make sure we're masking up. But again, you're asking 18 to 23-year-olds to do all that. So we're going to start by getting boosted, and then hopefully, we'll be able to have less disruptions. I don't think that's going to be a perfect solution, but less disruptions here moving forward.
All right. Yep. Coach, thank you.
Thank you.